Welcome to Arnie's Class Podcast. I'm Arnie Aniel. I'm an HR development consultant, an international public speaker, a workshop facilitator, a coach, and an educator. Life is a great opportunity, and we all learn life lessons every day. This podcast is all about those lessons. Lessons like gratitude, confidence, happiness, mindset, and a lot more. Learning without action is information. Learning with action is transformation. Join me, learn, and transform yourself into a better you. Communication skill is critical for successful relationships, like families. In my opinion, family communication is the foundation of family life and functioning. When we talk with each other, it is our way of connecting with each other, supporting each other, and learning from each other. But how do you communicate with your parents and your siblings? Can you really talk and discuss everything and anything with them? Parents are our first teachers. And personally, it is better that the children can learn it from their parents and from their homes instead of learning it from outside. With the technology nowadays, it's very easy for children, for teenagers to get information from the internet. It is very important that the parents guide their children and openly talk to them, especially those sensitive issues. How about you, life mates? Is your family communication effective? If not, how can you improve family communication? Remember that your family, the members of your family, are the people who will always be there, no matter what. If you cannot trust these people, then who you can trust? Who can you talk about things about yourself, about your life? Let's listen to my special guest as we talk about communication in the family. My special guest for this episode is originally from Cameroon and currently living and working in Cambodia. She is a journalist by profession, a teacher, a counselor, and a coach. She has managed a foreign NGO for 11 years and has worked both with women and children. She is a speaker with objectives to transform and touch lives. She considers herself a mother to many orphans and a parent to her siblings. Life mates, please welcome my very special guest, Miss Debora Dume. Hi, Deborah.
Hi, Annie.
Yes, thank you so much for accepting my invitation.
My pleasure. I'm
My
so happy.
pleasure. Yeah, it's my pleasure too. Yes, Deborah, we're going to talk about communication in the family. How important it is, especially of course we all experienced the lockdown during pandemic. How important do you think communication nowadays in families?
Communication in families is like oxygen to human beings because without effective communication, not just communication, but an effective type of communication, the family can work together, they can move forward even with their future goals, and that family can't actually attain a height or their dreams because communication is the engine for the movement or the growth of a family, just as you need oxygen to breathe. And so it's so vital. And that's why today with the social media, people try to communicate, but all this type of communication, the one in the family is the basic, like the foundation. Without this wonderful foundation in the family, as this good communication is needed, if you don't find it in the family, you won't be able to move to other areas of life.
Wow. I've heard effective communication or at least communication skills for many, many years. How would you describe effective communication in the family?
Effective communication in a family is a kind of communication whereby everybody feels comfortable telling what they feel, expressing themselves, even if they are not really in one accord about a particular area or point, but they are able to really express themselves and feel comfortable, because to express yourself is one point and to be comfortable expressing yourself is another situation. That's the reason why a lot of people in families don't actually work together, because they find it hard to communicate what they feel. They prefer getting someone outside, like a friend or somebody, maybe a pal, and begin to talk to them about their deep needs, because there's no route for them to really bring out the real self in family communication. That's why you need to make this foundation really solid, and it's so important to give this openness whereby people can be able to express themselves. So if people are able to tell their deepest problems to themselves, to one another in the family, that's when you can talk about effective communication. But if they just talk and smile when moments are wonderful, or maybe celebrations, that is not enough. The moment you can really tell a particular family is practicing effective communication is when you see them during the hard moments working together, or you see the youth, because you can tell from the youth when you're getting older, it's easier to go back to your family because you think differently. You want to keep things in the family, but the youth, if the young people in the family are able to come to the family and meet like the older people or their parents in order to seek for advice, that's when you can tell this family is really having a great communication and it has a great impact. That's why it's so important. So to me, that's what counts as effective communication in a family.
Yeah. I can really feel your energy there, and when you explain that. But Deborah, we always say it's easier said than done. But how would you advise the parents to establish and maintain the kind of comfortable environment for their children to speak up?
That's a very interesting question, because it starts from the parents to children, because as
Correct.
children are growing up, they face situations they've never faced. Then they need this environment that is welcoming, where they can express themselves, they can be able to tell what they feel. So for the parent to be able to create this environment is for them to make the children to understand that life is not, like the statement says, bed of roses, and they will make mistakes. So they, parents, have to make the children understand that they themselves have made mistakes. So when they encounter any situation outside, or they even make a mistake, they should come back to them. They should not be afraid, because others have made the mistakes. So they should just let them understand that life is a journey. And even if they fall, they need to stand up again in order to move forward. And they can also tell the children about their past experiences, where maybe a situation or a some circumstances where they failed. And this will encourage children to open up, because not just like giving orders, don't do this or go this way, but really having a conversation with them. So the communication starts with the parents. You communicate with them openly about any topic that they feel like talking about. And you also make them to understand that being a hero is not that you're perfect without mistakes, because everyone is afraid of mistakes and
That's right.
everyone is afraid to be blamed. But if the parents, any other person who talk to children, but when the parents become vulnerable to that point of letting the children understand, I'm your parent, but I equally made mistakes. I was a child like you. Today, I've learned a lot. So you come to me. Even if you made a mistake or done something I told you not to do, come
Yeah.
back to me. I'm ready to open my heart to you and help you to come out of that situation. I think that's the basics.
But Deborah, on behalf of the children out there, especially the adolescents, they will say that, but every time I open up and talk to my parents, what they do is just complain, they reprimand us, they scold us. So how how can the parents encourage that kind of openness? So the children, especially as I said, those teenagers out there in the transition period of whether am I young, am I adult now, am I all by myself. How can you encourage, or what can you say to the parents in order for them to really encourage their children, especially teenagers, to really speak up, to open up, tell me what's happening in your life? Any specific suggestions, Deborah?
The first thing, as parents, they should be able to model the situation. Like parents, father and mother should be able to model their children what they want them to copy. Like the way a man talks to his wife and the way the wife responds, or the way the wife talks to the husband. Because if a woman is comfortable going to a man saying, okay, this is it, maybe you wronged, and now I'm not okay with what you did, and the man can speak openly also to the man, to the wife, and say, you're wrong. It starts from there. So if they have the foundation by being open to themselves, where they can talk to themselves the truth, and it makes the children to look at them, and now they model the children. So the children become comfortable. Though, so it's okay. And from there, the children now could listen, because children copy a lot what they hear than what they are told to do. So that example is so important. That's the first area parents should model what they want your children to copy. And secondly, the children also should be set standards, because you tell the student, the children, these are the standards you set. And why should you set the standard? Because when you tell the youth, these are standards you need to follow, they have a problem with, instructions. But they need to understand why they need to follow the instructions and the benefits of the instructions, and also the disadvantages. So if they know, when you follow this, I'm not just going to punish you, life itself will get you, because you are going to break the law and you are going to get in trouble, and your life is going to be this way. So they need to understand the truth, the positive areas, the negative areas. And when they get this why, it's not just like I'm giving you an order not to do this, but I'm telling you what is going to help you. Why should you not do this? And after these things are told to them, the next part now is for you to have this conversation with them, there where you are telling them now, okay, this is what life is all about. And you now start telling them. From there, they'll be able to listen, because first, as parents, if they don't see that particular example from you parents, as a mother, father, it's harder for them to listen to what you've got to say. And secondly, when you tell them what to do without telling them why they should do it or why they shouldn't do it, it becomes another problem. So they will always go to their peers and say, oh, I think they just give their laws, it's that kind of age, old kind of tone, so I can't take that. But when you tell them the reasons why they have to follow this and the benefits, then they begin to listen. And from there, you now have this conversation on a daily basis. And really, to really bring them closer and have a real conversation with them on any situation. And also, when they make a mistake, you do bring them and tell them what is wrong and what is right and what they could do better. Because there at that moment, it's not just the yelling, it's the lesson they get from the mistakes they've made.
What they learned out of it, right?
That's right. That's right. Because now you've done this, and when they come back to you, even if they don't come back to you, if you notice an error they've made, you could call them over and say, okay, I noticed you did this or you did that. So look at it. This is what happened to you. But I want you to follow this other step. In that way, because they want to see examples. With the youth, they want more of examples. That's the main thing.
Totally. So parents should be role models, and at the same time explain the why.
That's right.
Why I'm telling you this, why you're not supposed to do that and to do that. But with all the changes, especially the technology, what do you think is more challenging now for the parents in communicating with children? What do you think is, because as I said, we've been through a lot, not to mention, of course, the pandemic and all the technological advances that's been happening around us, all the social media. So, Deborah, what do you think is more challenging for parents nowadays in communicating with their children?
What is more challenging is the foundation, like I said before. In spite of the situation happening in the world, when you've trained a child from young age and they are growing up, if they have a foundation, you don't spoil a child, you just let them make decisions. Okay, take for instance, I would say that as an elderly person in my family, I lost my mom like 12 years ago, and I have younger people I had to take care of. And, you need to really tell them what to do from a distance. You have to do this, you need to work this way. It's really challenging. But what happened is that, like I talked about, I really understood this importance of effective communication. I have a one-on-one. If one of them is wrong about something, I don't ask the other person to give me his or her opinion about that situation. I call you up. Why did you do this? Then you have to tell me why, and why could you not do something else? Didn't you know that it was wrong for you to do this? I knew. So why did you do it? Then it's maybe a bit silent, and okay, I'm not going to speak very much. But what did you benefit from that? Nothing. No benefits. At the end of the day, I didn't perform well at school. I said, so who is having it bad? Is it me or you? No, it's me. I said, okay, are you stopping me from moving forward? He said, no. So who is backward? I'm the one. So do you want to stay back? Go ahead, stay back there. For me, I'm forward. Okay, I'm going forward. Oh, no, I want to move forward too. Please, I'm going to change this. So I had to talk to them one-on-one. Then I had to bring up the exact things they did, and they should tell me what made them to do this. And now you've done this. So what is the result? Is it something beneficial to you? Is it for your growth? Or is it for mine? And he starts thinking, she starts thinking, and at the end of the day, oh, I didn't think about it this way. I see I was just with my friends. My friend just said this, but now, and I will tell you that at the moment, they are wonderful, exemplary, and great. I don't have a situation. The point is, I say, whatever you're going to get, you look for it yourself, because that's what you'll get. You can't get something else. If you want it, you get it. You don't expect to get what you do not deserve. So I talk a lot about deserving what you get. When you work hard, you get something. So it's not about spoiling. So making the people to know that you need to work hard to get, not that you need to like put yourself so low or maybe work so hard, but hard work is important, because you need a job in the future. You need to be hardworking. You need to be committed. You need somebody of integrity. A company can hire you if you're not trustworthy. It's not me, a company anywhere. So you need those standards, not for me, but for you. And if you are jobless, do you think I'm going to take care of you? I can't take care of you, because there's a particular time you have to take care of yourself. In all the situations, I had the conversation, and I realized they are so important. Effective communication, whereby you tell the truth. It could be as hard or as difficult. Sometimes parents are worried, oh, my child's feelings is going to be hurt, or maybe he's not going to think I love him so much. Telling the child the truth or trying to be really stern with a child doesn't mean you don't love them. I tell you, I care for you. That's why I'm talking to you. And I ask, if somebody doesn't care about you, would they bother talking to you? Oh, no. So I care for you. I need to tell you the truth. And if you have something to tell me, you are free to bring it up. So we have a dialogue. And if I'm wrong, tell me what I'm wrong about and why do you think I'm wrong? And let's talk about it. And I'm open to that. It's not about age. It's not about your abilities. No, it's about equality as humans. That's how we treat.
What I can get from your explanation, actually, Deborah, is number one is a dialogue. There should be a dialogue. It's not a one-way communication, because normally parents, they just want a one-way. Listen to me. You are not supposed to answer me. I'm your parent. I'm your mom. I'm your dad. Just listen. Be quiet. So they are not encouraging their children to speak up in a way that they can also understand them. So a dialogue is very important. Second, what I can get from your explanation is that you ask questions in order for them to reflect. Like, I really like that question when you said that they should be able to ask, is that beneficial? Is that something that can make you grow or not? Because if the answer is no benefit at all and it's not for your growth, then why are you doing it? Yeah. And another one reminded me, Deborah, of no pain, no gain. And I can totally relate to that most of the time, of course, It takes hard work. Life is not that easy that everything you want, you can just that you can get it easily just like that.
Right.
Work to get what you want. But make sure that what you want is something that you really want and it's for you to grow as a person.
That's right. That's right.
Very well explained on that side. And but Deborah, that's another follow-up question on that because yes, they can have a dialogue. Yes, they can open up. And of course, parents should be able to talk openly with their children. But they said most of the time there are some topics that yes, it's okay to talk about it. But there are some topics that no, I it's awkward. If I'll ask my parents, like for example, relationships or love, or even sorry for but even sex and sexuality. These are the topics that parents, I don't think they are comfortable discussing with children. So what is your take on that, Deborah?
That's very true because our parents actually came from a time where it was almost like a taboo to talk about a lot of topics, like you mentioned, sex, maybe relationship at a particular period, and certain things. So, but today, with the openness of the social media, there's a lot out there to children. And if parents don't change their own attitude, they're going to lose their children because today they have access to a lot of things than what you can imagine. You could see the child sitting at home so calmly, but he or she goes to school, the friend has a phone, they have many websites, they have a lot of things that they could get somewhere else. So you need to change. So here the parents have a great role to change the attitude. And let's say growing up as when I was still a teenager, I am one of the kind of people, I didn't talk much, but when it came to understanding something that I really wanted to know, I'll go to my dad and I say, Dad, I need to talk about something. And he was, this kind of officers that they always give command at work. So you don't ask them questions, they do the asking and you just do the doing. So you just act. And when he comes back and it's like, everybody's just attention, nobody speaks, he's back. So when
Wow.
he's back, yeah, and someone will be surprised. Then how did you do to speak? I'll go to him. Hello, Dad, welcome. And everybody's like, are you going to say hello? I say, yeah, of course. I need to welcome my dad back home. Hello, Dad, welcome. Yeah, welcome. He'll just walk in. And after that, I said, I have something to talk about. What? What do you want to talk about? He said, you already started school? Is this school? Or I said, no, some other topic like relationship. What? You want to talk to me about? I don't have time. I said, Dad, you need to have time. I have to talk about this. And he says, I should go and meet my mom. I said, no, I want to talk to you, Dad. And he's like, what? I can't talk to you. I said, I have to talk to you. And truly, I mean, even if it's 15 minutes, I have to talk to you that, okay, I can let you get some rest. When you're done with everything you want to do, I need to talk to you. And even if he's not willing to speak that day, the following day, I will come with the same routine, smiling, Dad, I'm willing. Today, I'm ready to talk to you. And I'm okay until he will give me an audience. He will say, sit down. Then the first question he asked me, are you my mom or am I your dad? I said, oh, Dad, you are my dad, of course. But it could be interesting if I could also be your mom, don't you think? Then he was like, wow. So I had to ask questions and he had no choice because I wanted to understand. I had friends, but I saw my friends like my mates. My mentality was like, they can give me more because I always wanted to know more. And yes, I always wanted to know more. And my friends or mates, because I saw the ability in class, and I would look like your IQ. I said, okay, no, he's not good enough to give me advice. So I need somebody elderly. Then my dad is my role model. So he is the best person to give me an advice. So I need to go to him on whatever topic. I didn't bother what it was. I was like, okay. So dad, what is it? At the end of the day, he had to speak. He had to reply to what I had to ask. So we will have a conversation and he will speak. Then he will go back and say, I can't believe I had it. I really gave birth to a child like this. I can't believe it.
Deborah, I'm sorry to cut you, but what do you think gave you that courage to
Yeah.
speak up and talk to your dad just like that?
All right. Good question.
Because I don't think
Yeah,
everybody has got, especially women talking to their dads, the
I
daughters
know.
talking to their dad just like that. Like, no, I want to talk to you, not to my mom, but to you.
Yes, that's right. Actually, I knew that I had something to do in the future with people because even at a tender age, when I was in class, like when I was at school, the way I spoke, everybody was like, "Why do you speak like this?" And I was like, "How do I speak?" Then they're like, "You don't pronounce words as we do." I'm like, "I just speak proper English. So what do you want me to do?" Seriously, I had questioning from one situation. And sometimes my dad would say, "Please take it easy. I have some guests coming in. Try to speak a little bit, you know."
How old were you, Deborah, doing that time when you started doing that kind of asking questions and discussing topics with your dad?
13.
Oh, wow.
13. When I was younger, I used to ask questions maybe on other things. But when I started seeing life situations and other things, I also asked questions. So there were many aspects I could ask. But when I started asking about life, because I saw examples, when I saw some elderly people doing certain things that were like not really proper. So I had to ask that, but why is this person acting this way or that one acting? So at that age of 12, 13, I began asking questions, serious questions. So when I saw anything going on, because especially at school, like you were talking about communication between parents and children. Please, just a moment, let me sip something.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure.
Because while at school, I noticed many of my mates, what they were doing, really certain things that were not actually proper at that age.
Okay.
And I was very selective of the kind of friends I had to make. So when I realized you had to do certain things that were not proper, or you spoke certain maybe vulgar words, I was just like, you are not good enough to be my friend. I just had to because I said, many friends asked me to do that. I said no, because I have to be a great person in the future. So I need to live this kind of life. I said it again and again, and they were like, what? Who told you you can do that? I said, because I have to. They said, but you are not the kind of talkative. I said, no, when it comes to talking to people, advising and all those things, those are the things I want to do. So I need to talk to people and I need to be prepared. So I'm getting myself ready for that. And that's what gave me that attitude to say I'll be selective about the people, the kind of people I made my friends, and the kind of things I had to do. And so at that age, if you're 12, 13, I had trust from my parents. They could tell me if it's a gathering with girls, boys, he was okay, you can go. They knew I could make decisions. They were not afraid or worried about me. Because when I went there to observe. What are they doing? And why do you act this way? Why do you? So I was always in the talking. Many of my friends, even till they wrote to me and said, they can't believe what I told them many years ago. I had to reach those dreams. Meanwhile, they were like, okay, it's all about life. And today they're coming back and asking questions.
So
So I
you had,
have
but sorry, Dobra. So you had that kind of curiosity at a very young age to learn and
that
to know why people that do things like this, why they say like this. So you have that kind of curiosity to learn at a very young age.
very much, very much. And I was so determined not to get in anything that was going to jeopardize my moving forward in the right direction. That's it. And nothing could stop me from that. Because I will tell you that there were many other things that could be outside. If you came to friends, I had no problem deciding the friends to work with. So even if you are my best friend and you change your attitude, you start doing certain things that are not proper, I tell you, we can't go together anymore because I can
That's
work.
it. End of friendship.
Yes. So exactly. I said you either change your behavior and walk this way. So they have to decide. They will take some time off, like 2, 3 days to think about it in order to come back to me. And it was like, I will sit here, I have people sitting sometimes on the straight line. friends coming in to ask requests. Why are you no longer communicating with me? I'll tell you why. Then they move. The next person comes in. Seriously, in my house. That's how it used to happen. My mom will call them. Okay, one by one, go. The next person, I'll tell you why I can't go anymore. Seriously, I don't know, but that's how it happened because I had this determination. So communication is powerful, like I was saying.
Yeah. But Deborah, what did your parents say, especially your mom? And your siblings as well, please.
Okay. In all this, my mom told me, she called me and sat me and told me that I'm proud of you and you are my model. That's what she told me. I was like, what? Mom, I'm just 15. I was just 15 then. I'm just 15. How can you tell me I'm your model? She said, you are courageous. You are determined. You don't need supervision at your age. You can make great decisions. So we don't worry about you. And we don't need to worry about your siblings because even today, if tomorrow I leave this world, I don't worry because they have a parent to take care of them. I say, I'm 15. Please stop saying that. Honestly. So, and let's say when I had to insist on my dad, please, I want you to answer this question. She would tell me, please, no. Can you just leave that one like that? I said, no, mom. She will speak with a low voice. I said, no, mom, I can't let it go. Dad needs to answer me. And she was like, oh, my. I was trying to say it with a low voice. Why did it? I said, because dad has to answer me. I have to speak to dad. And she was like, okay, all right. She told me I'm doing the right thing, but that my dad will not support that 100%. I should take it a little easier. I say, I'm sorry. I can't just sit with questions on my mind. These questions have to be answered by him.
And your siblings, what did they say? How many brothers and sisters do you have?
Actually, we are 8 of us, so there are 7.
Oh wow. What did they say
Yeah,
about are you the first child?
I'm the first.
Oh wow. So what did they say about you? It's like we have two mothers here.
They were like, wow. So if they have a situation where they needed maybe my dad to intervene, they come to me and tell me, there's this thing I want. Can you help me talk to dad? I say, and what is it you want? Why do you need it, first of all? So the questions I'll ask you is even more than what dad will ask. Because dad will just say no or yes. But for me, why do you need it? And is it necessary at this time? So when you answer all the questions, then I now go to him and
So
just tell him this.
it's like an interrogation, right?
That's right. So they understood that and they became comfortable answering questions and they became comfortable. I said, because if dad wants to talk, you can go to him and talk to him too. But you need to know what you want and why you need it. Because he needs somebody who is sure about what they want and it should be important. So whenever I went to dad to make any request, if I needed anything, dad had to give it to me because I never asked for anything that wasn't important. And it was more about maybe my education or something. Maybe there's this school that just opened. I need to go for this program there. I need to attend this conference here. I need to go. Then he said, you are too young traveling. I said, no, dad, I need to go by myself. Don't worry, I can go there. So I had to go for that. And okay, sometimes I need to travel 3-4 days. I'm 18, I need to go for programs. And I'm like, okay, I have to do this. So, okay, no, go and I will do that. But the others, they wouldn't do. I said, can't you tell dad you want to do something? Oh, I'm scared. All right. Then I'll go my way and I come back. And that is it. Because I was trying to, I loved education. I loved it. So my dad always said, one thing I'm proud of you is that you love education. So I will listen to you and you always say things that make sense. And that's the next thing, because first of all, parents want to talk with their children, but sometimes they are scared of the topics to talk about. And secondly, the questions from the children, because they could be embarrassed by questions from the children. And that's why they shun them and they don't want to have conversations. But parents have to change that attitude. And the children also need to step up their strategies. Because if they are positive, there's no parent that is going to be, let's say, refusing to talk to a child that is smart, that's ready to study, or even if the child fails, the child is willing to try again and again. Parents are willing to give their children the best they can. So it's two-way. And if the parents see you working in that area, they're going to support you. So it's not easy coming from where I came from, but what you want, I'll tell you anything I needed, I had them. And anywhere I wanted to go to, I did. And what I wanted to achieve, I did. And I told them I'll be somewhere else doing what I need to do. So I need to prepare myself to be out of the country because that's why I need to travel to places around the country to do some conferences. So they were like, everybody, you speak like you know everything. So like,
So
I said,
Deborah,
that's what I have to do.
yeah, sorry. You are very lucky that you have that kind of attitude, not only curiosity, but also the love for learning. You educated yourself, and at the same time, just like what your mom said to you, you are determined. And so what I can get from that is that even with the topics that are quite sensitive or probably topics that considered to be taboo, it's just to be open up out there, both parents and the children, in order to discuss that. Both side, not only from the children's side, but also from the parent side, because they can meet halfway if both of them are open, right?
That's right. That's very correct. A situation happened in school I was teaching. Then, before going to class, we had assembly and all students were gathered there. And one of the students said, okay, today is Valentine's Day. And I know during Valentine's, a guy meets a girl, and after that, they make out. And the other stuff, oh my God. And so, hey, they started screaming. I'm like, so I looked at a child and I said, so what do you want? I want to know, is that true or false? I said, oh, you want to know that? I said, okay, you've seen on the internet, right? Yeah. I said, good. I said, yes, people do that. But is that good for you? How old are you? I'm 10. Is it a good thing for you to go making out with girls and so on? No. Is that going to help you at this age? Can you take care of a child? Can you have a family? Can you even pay for your lunch? No. So, what is it you're looking for right now? I want to go to school. I said, so pay attention to school. Pay attention to what your parents are saying because they love you more. And when you are sick, who is there for you? My parents. When you have difficulties, who is there for you? My parents. And they try their best to send you to school, right? Yes. And at the end of the day, is it the Valentine, the making out that is going to help you because other friends are doing that? No. So is that going to help you to have good grades? No. So what are you going to do? I'm going to study hard. Thank you, teacher, very much. But I don't know why nobody always tells me when I ask a question, everybody, so he said he started speaking this way because he wants to express himself. Because he knows nobody will answer him and he doesn't care. He became so unruly. And I started telling him that no, you don't need to change yourself to become negative because people don't listen to you. There's always somebody there to listen. Your parents can listen to you. And that's when he was like, oh, but I thought my grandmom doesn't love me because she always hits me. Every time I do something, she hits me. And that's how the conversation moved. On the assembly, I started talking to the child. Everybody stopped talking. They were paying attention. I said, your grandmom loves you so much. I asked him, when you see a little kid maybe doing something that is wrong, what will you say? Will you say, oh, he's too young, let him just do, or go to the roadside and then maybe the vehicle walks over him, or what? What do you think? No, I'll bring the child away and talk to the child. I said, good. It's the same love your grandmom is trying to show you. Because she has spoken, you don't want to listen. That's why she's hating you. It was like, oh, I understand now. I said, so if you go home, if you want to see if your grandmom really loves you, go home and say, grandmom, I'm sorry for everything I've been doing to hurt you. I will try to become a better boy and I'm going to pass my exam and hear what she's going to tell you. He said, okay, I'll try it. He went home and then he did that the following day. Came out, oh, teacher, the best day of my life. My grandmom told me that she loves me. I never knew. Oh, teacher, I love you too. Oh, I love you too, teacher. I'm serious. A little conversation. And the grandmom started talking to him. So he says now with his grand, they are very good. They have good conversation. He never wanted to just listen to her or hear because he knew he was going to be criticized. So many people resent conversations because they are thinking that they are just going to be accused maybe told the wrong
Blame.
things they've done. That's right. That's right. They are never encouraged about the right things to do. So one other aspect that is important, children can receive rewards when they do the right things, especially certain standards. When, example, my sibling, I tell them, when you leave like the primary level, you get to the secondary with good grades, you have a particular reward, and you are going to get every any technology you desire at that level. But below that, even if all your friends have it, it's none of my business. You won't have any. So for you to deserve anything, get here and you let me know, and you will get what you need. So they now start working hard. And when, no, please, I don't have time. I need to work hard. I need to get here. I need to achieve this. And so that is it. And that's why when they look at me, they're like, you know, since you think you're really there, I'm going to work harder than you do. You know that? So don't think that I'm going to stay back. And there's this challenge, that challenging themselves. And I'm so happy about that. So there is a situation. It's not like you must be where you want them to be, but you can lead. There are different aspects. If you make a promise, keep the promise. If a parent tells a child, if you do well, I'm going to reward you, then reward them. Because these promises that you make them take you seriously, and that's what makes them to keep standards. So this is part of the communication that builds up this foundation, keeping your word.
That's
And
right.
also,
Yes.
those
Say
little
what you
things.
mean and mean what you say.
That's correct. That's correct. So, and then the reward. The reward sometimes could just be the wonderful words. You did well this time. Oh, wow. It's amazing. And so they are always striving to do something that is great in achieving what they have to achieve, because they want to hear these wonderful words.
Yes.
Because when you do the right things, I tell you exactly how you perform. You did so well, better than I did. And I'm so proud of you. So you deserve this and you deserve that. And they're like, yes, exactly. And they are so happy about the reward, just the nice words. So these things are sometimes hard for
Yes.
parents to say.
Yes. And it's, sometimes parents think of rewards like in terms of money or gifts, which I believe is not necessary. Thank you very much, Deborah, for sharing those stories. And I adore you. I mean, I just hope that everyone has that kind of attitude, curiosity, and courage to speak up and talk to their parents just like you, and to the siblings.
Thank you very much.
You're originally from Cameroon and now you're in Cambodia. What differences did you see in families in Cameroon, or probably you can say in Africa in general, and in Cambodia, in terms of communication, Deborah?
All right. When it came, or talking about communication in terms of families back home and here, I would say back home, people are more, let's say, open to talk. Even if they're in public, there's something that's wrong. Sometimes they could talk their thing in the open. And it's just like, okay, you did this wrong. And if they don't agree on something, they could easily go their different ways. And like, okay, I don't agree with you. You can go your way. I can go my way. Something, but they'll come back together. So there's no problem with disagreeing. It's normal. So back home, it's just regular and normal to see people disagreeing in a family, not taking the point, different groups in a family having different opinions. But here is a kind of a situation where when there's let's say something going on, even if they don't agree, but they have to, okay, you have to keep away your own opinion and take the opinion of the elderly and have to work together in it, even if you don't agree on it, but maybe just in front of everyone, but you may go behind and do something else and that kind of a situation, but at least together as a family, okay, yeah, it's all right, but when you go your way, you can do something else somewhere else. So that's the real way I've seen about communication. Here, they want to be, there's this situation where they want to make it, let's say, nice in public or in the family everywhere. They work together, they agree, even if Inwardly, they don't. But back home, no, people can keep it. If they don't agree, they don't agree. And you have individuals with different opinions, but it's normally regular same people not agreeing in a family, but after some time they could come back and work together on different things.
I see. So disagreement is very common and more acceptable, and at the same time, I totally agree with you because I myself from the Philippines and I've been living here in Thailand for many, many years. Normally, members of the families, they just like, yeah, tend to agree, even if actually internally it's like, "Oh, I don't like that." But they're not expressing that honestly and confidently in front of other family members. I experienced the same, and I'm from Asia, and I can totally agree. So, Deborah, you said that you're a mother to many orphans.
Mhm.
Is this something that you do in Cambodia?
Being a mother to many orphans, it started while home. I just realized that a lot of children just came to me. Sometimes they'll just walk up to my home and they just want to talk to me. And so I just had this rapport with children. And most of the time, they'll come maybe for counseling. Very young children, but they come around and it's like they're all my children. So I got used to like, okay, I'm a mom, come on, come on. And every neighborhood I walk to, I have, they always say, oh, you have children this way. Sometimes they come home to check on me. And so it was like, I couldn't just do without it. It happened that even when I'm at school, I'm teaching, but I have to be, act also as a mother. It comes to a point, and it started when I was really still a teenager. And sometimes I was a mother to my schoolmates, and it was like, okay, all right. It's quite interesting. And I've always had the desire. I always went with children who were orphans and always gave them some help in any way I could, whether it's by talking to them or material stuff. I always did that, both home and abroad. So I've always been in that. It always happens. And I always have a connection with children in one way or the other. And that's when I decided, all right, this is something I'm going to do. And by the time maybe I'm retiring without too much energy, I'm going to be more concentrated or focused with the children.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
I see. No, I just asked because as we mentioned during the introduction, and I believe being a mother to children, I mean a mother image, not really literally a mother that you give birth to these children, is something really magical. Because can you imagine being a mother to people who are not related to you? I think is something wonderful. And I really applaud you for doing that because not everybody has that kind of heart because sometimes it's very difficult to do that. So my last question about communication in families. So when do you think is the best time? Because as I mentioned in the open, when do you think is the best time for parents to reveal, or is it important for parents? Maybe this is my question, to reveal whether they adopt their children or not. What is your take on that? Your personal take on because of course there are families wherein they adopt children. They were born out of the heart, not out of the womb, as they said. So what is your personal take on that?
It depends on the parent, because parenting is not all about giving birth yourself. It all depends if you have that desire to connect with people, because what, like I talked about, communication is so vital in a family. Because if you as a parent, even if you're a biological parent, but you do not have this connection with the children, and what brings this particular connection is more about the listening to them. You listen too, because after you want to tell them what to do, you listen. So if you have this rapport with the children or with people, it's not only with children, because communication with children, it takes more effort than with elderly people, because older people already know what they want, how they need to act. But children are very vulnerable. They don't know what they really want. They just need comfort. And it's easier to win the heart of children when you're warm and really honest. Because even if you think they are innocent, they are children, but they know when something is genuine. If you are genuine in loving them, you really care for them, you really connect to them, they know it, they feel it, and they come to you. Because I have had it through a long time whereby I've met children, had an impact on them, but they came back to me and they have something to talk about. No, they really have to talk to me, not to another person, to me. So it comes to a point where if the parents, they want to get children and they want to adopt, for instance, they must be able to, first of all, have this good relationship of being able to communicate properly. Because if they can't really communicate properly, then they will have a problem raising children. Raising children is not just about feeding them, clothing them, it's more about that relationship. And the relationship comes with the communication. It starts from there and it extends to when you communicate, like you have different communication skills or styles, you speak, you listen, really listening more. So all those things put together, it comes now to the point where the parents are ready, because you need to be mentally ready, psychologically, physically, financially. All these things matter. But the finances can only work properly when you are mentally prepared. And if you are mentally prepared, you can take care of the children so well, because there's no other financial problem that will be difficult for you to handle.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Deborah. With your experiences as a journalist, as a teacher, as a counselor, as a coach, and as a mother to orphan and to your siblings, what is the greatest lesson you've ever learned? Or maybe I should ask, what's the greatest lesson you've learned in your life?
The greatest lesson I've actually learned is that nothing is impossible. So anything is possible. Anything. That's the lesson I've learned. If you put your heart in anything, you can get it. If you need anything, you can achieve. So nothing is impossible. You may think it's hard. It's not. You don't need the money at hand. You don't need the structure or infrastructure, or you don't need all the resources. All you need is the will. So anything is possible.
Wow.
There's no limitation.
Yes, I always remember at a very young age, I also learned that everything is possible and you are possible. That's why I remember they said in the word impossible, I am possible. They said that's the meaning. Very well said. Thank you so much, Deborah. Any decision you made in the past that has an impact until now of who you are as a person?
Oh, yeah. The decision I made was that I had to achieve or reach my dreams. Whatever dreams I had, whatever big dream, because you have small dreams, you have the mega one. But I mean, I say I need to get to the top of my dreams. So I made that decision, and actually, it impacted me.
Wow. Can you remember when you made that decision, Deborah?
Actually, when I was like in grade 1.
Oh.
Yeah. I made the decision in grade 1. I remember my teacher asked me, who do you want to become in future? I said,
Okay.
journalist. And she said, journalist. I said, yeah. Then she looked at me. I was so calm child. And are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. And why do you want to be a journalist? I want to talk to people. I want to help people. I want to reach out to people. So even if I want to be a journalist, but the reason why I'm going through that channel is to reach out to people. So I might not really stay there, but that's just a channel. My problem is people. My goal is reaching out to people. That's what I say. And that is it.
Anyone who's a journalist from your family or relatives, your mom, your dad?
No, maybe after I became, then some relative cousin, something like that. But no, nobody was.
So you're the very first one.
I am.
Wow. And of course, with everything that you've shared, if you or someone else will write a book about your life, what kind of book will it be and what will be the title, Deborah?
The title of the book will be She Lives Her Dream. Yes, I'm living my dream. And you can live yours too. So I'm living my dream. You can live yours too. It is for people to understand that the sky is not even the limit. Your mindset is your limit because nobody can stop you out there. No situation can stop you. Nothing can stop you. I must tell you the truth. I have a father, you know, I mean, everyone was scared of my father. Honestly, relatives, brother, everybody scared. Not that he was like, he was such a stern person. It's no. And the tone of his voice is kind of baritone when he says no at work, everywhere. That is it. And he comes home, it was just that way. But to me, he was the best father and the best communicator I ever had. And they never understood. Because nothing, if I could make good communication with my dad, and I could achieve anything I wanted. So he passed, it's about 4 years today, and he saw me achieving everything. And we're planning a trip together because I was supposed to give a speech somewhere. So he said, we will go together. I said, yes, Dad, I would like to introduce you. So let them know who you are. And he was like, that's a great idea. Yes. And he gave me a title before he actually passed. He said, you like using philosophy on me and psychology. So every time he want to quote anything about me, philosophy and psychology. So if you go home now, everybody just anyone, philosophy, psychology, that is my philosophy and psychology that will come and convince him to accept what I want. And so I had a very good relationship with him. It was so marvelous. I saw people having hardship to communicate, but I tell you, it was the best thing. So anything is possible. When I say anything, it's as if I repeat it, it's because he was not this conversational kind of person. No. And it was tough because people were practically scared. Neighbors were scared. Everyone was scared. Like, no, your father, my friends, your dad at home? Yeah. Oh, no, I cannot. I cannot. So, but he was somebody I had a great relationship with. I was very happy having him. And when I don't agree, I said, Dad, I don't agree. And sometimes he says, is this thing okay? Then I said, if I give you my opinion, you wouldn't like it. So it's better I keep silent. Then, sure. So it happened that at the end of the day, when there was any issue, he would say, everybody should give their opinions. I'll be silent. Why don't you want to speak? Because you won't like my answer. So I'll tell you the truth or I keep silent. Then I said, think about it. Do you want my answer? Or I keep silent. Then he will think about it. Okay, bring it on. Then he will be ready to get my answer. And that's how I work. So anything is possible.
Very well said. Very nice message. Everything is possible. And just like what you said, no one and nothing can stop you from achieving your goals and your dreams except yourself. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much, Deborah, for your time, for sharing your experiences and your knowledge about communication in families. And I believe everyone will learn a lot from this episode. If they want to reach you, how can they reach you, Deborah?
Anyway, I'm on social media, my Facebook account. And if anybody reaches to me by Facebook, then there's more to talk about. I always now share my number depending on what they want. So if we chat on Facebook and it's fine, all right. So anyone is welcome to reach me there.
Thank you so much. To my life mates, once again, another episode, and I'm sure you learned a lot from this. And from, of course, my special guest, Deborah. Please share this to your families and friends, especially to your parents and to your siblings, because for sure you will learn something from this. And always remember that learning without action is information, but learning with action is transformation. Listen and learn.